Hey everybody, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. Let me go to my YouTube here and just verify that this feed is working first, and that way I can verify. Hey everybody, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. Let me see if this feed is working first, and that way I can verify. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. Okay, there we go. I just had to set it up so that way you guys can actually see the page. Alright, so City of menasha got a curfew tonight. Started a couple hours ago. Get their homes between now and oh. You're and Nina with family to charge devices at dinner. Are there any updates? I want to go home to. All right, I just wanted to say that I don't believe a curfew is legally enforceable. I don't think it is. I don't believe it is. It has to be somewhere in the state statutes, and state supersedes city, and of course federal supersedes both. So, let's see here. I like WBAY. I'm more partial to WBAY than pretty much any other station in Wisconsin, just because these people that work at WBAY seem to be like really real people. You know what I'm saying? They are very real people. Watch the flock camera come down. That is definitely the actual tornado. Or something. It had to be. I'm surprised the power lines were still energized. That's crazy. You're still energized. And they got lucky because that one could have killed her. Those pole pigs are very, very heavy. Yeah, I see the rotation right there. Wow. What is that business there? I wonder if this is in Calumet, maybe. Where the hell this is at? Damn, yeah. I don't think they're gonna be able to get out of that. They're like stuck there. Damn it, they're fucking stuck there. Person driving. Shit. How do you spell autumn? But yeah, right here, this right here, right? Check it out. This is the former Express gas station. I think it's called Motomart. Look at the hit that they took. And here's my grandparents' old house right there. Right about, you guys can't tell, but the video, they actually showed a video of the actual house. And I'm glad that it didn't like get this. I don't know. I just feel really, it's a sentimental thing for me. And then you got Jefferson School right there, that big building right there, upper right corner. You see this place right here? That's Tony's bar. You know, with the white. Look at the roof. It came right off. And look at 3rd Street, just devastated, all the way up to Jefferson Apartments. And then right here is where the Menasha pool is at, right there. That's the Menasha pool. This whole area just, bam, you know. Wow. Place just got nailed. Whoever building that, I think that's that. I don't know what building that. I can't tell you what building that is. I know where it's at. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know the building though.
Folks from the Menasha Police Department, Winnebago County Emergency Management, Public Health, Calvary Church at 1450 Oak Ridge Road in Neenah will be open from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. tomorrow for water, cooling, and charging.
They're set to automatically activate.
Winnebago County's Emergency Management Department.
Good afternoon. Thank you. The tornado sirens throughout Winnebago County were activated when the tornado warning was issued by the National Weather Service. They're set to automatically activate throughout the county anytime that a tornado warning is issued for any part of the county.
Thank you. And again, I had an issue locking on. So did you address what we know about injuries at this point?
I can take it. We didn't. So far, we've got first responders on the ground. We've had folks that have been going door to door since the storm passed. It's been difficult to access a lot of roads that are closed off. There were some people that we know had to be treated at area hospitals, but so far, as of 7:30 right now, there have been no reported fatalities that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you very much.
Were there any other questions? It's hard to imagine there's not. They can really, okay. Raise your hand if you have a question, just in case it's not working. Great. Well, we'll provide more information with another update probably tomorrow when we have it. Again, hope is to get the word out to folks related to the curfews tonight, the boil water order, the facilities that are available to accommodate those who need a place to stay tonight. Again, the YMCA making themselves available tomorrow, knowing that some of the facilities like the Boys and Girls Club may be without power tomorrow. we're trying to do our best to make sure that the people, the boots on the ground that are responding can get their job done as quickly as possible, to both restore power, but also, which is going to have an impact on our ability to provide the water that everybody needs as well. So thank you very much. And we will have more information as the night goes on, posting, and probably another media avail at some point tomorrow. Thank you.
Gordon, sorry. Emily Matesic with Fox 11. Sorry.
Hi, Emily.
Do you have media staging areas where you would like the media to be at different times? I know stations are going to want to go live in the morning and tonight. What is, your advice for them? And then as the media, what can we do for you guys?
Well, thank you for the
I wish I could have joined that somehow. I don't know how that would have happened though.
And our whole house started shaking. I thought for sure we were going to meet the Wizard of Oz.
That was a neighbor who experienced this tornado rip through Menasha. Hey everybody, Emerson Lehman here, WBAY TV. And as you walk through
And our whole house started shaking. I thought for sure we were going to meet the Wizard.
I think I know where it's at. I can't say 100% certain, but I think I do.
That was a neighbor who experienced this tornado rip through Menasha. Hey everybody, Emerson Lehman here, WBAY TV. And as you walk through the streets of this community in the Fox Valley, all you see is devastation and destruction. You see cars flipped on their roofs, buildings completely demolished, trees and power lines down, buildings completely.
I know that laundromat very well. Used to wash my clothes. My mom would take us to do our laundry there all the time. And the one next to McDonald's in downtown Menasha also. So yeah, sucks.
Completely demolished,
really
trees and power lines down. This is damage that people here have said they have never experienced.
Never ever seen this kind of damage. Never ever seen Menasha end up like this. Ever. My aunt said the same thing too. She's never heard of this and never seen it. So this is the first time that my hometown where I grew up in got fucking just, oh my God. I can't say leveled because it ain't leveled, but yeah. And I grew up in this neighborhood. So yeah. It really hits me very personally.
Spoke with that neighbor as well as a business owner who shared the moment that tornado came ripping through.
I saw 2 to 3 lightning bolts strike the power pole out here, and it went down. The next thing, you couldn't see a foot in front of the window. The rain was going sideways, and I heard the train whistle.
I remember 9 years ago coming here and how they all welcomed us with open arms, and there's such a great community. Everybody pulls together and helps, and all I see is everybody walking around, hugging, making sure that everybody's loved.
3rd Street and Plank Road. So this is Plank Road, and to your right is 3rd Street. Oh. And then Coonan's is right there. That's like an automotive repair shop.
Loved ones are okay and doing whatever they can do to help. So we're all blessed to be here together, and we're okay.
Now authorities are asking folks to avoid this area if at all possible because they have so many down power lines and debris, and they are trying to get to the individuals that they need to get to as this long cleanup process begins. Make sure to stay with us, WBAY.com, both on air and online for the latest updates. The streets of this community.
Austin Hammond from Menasha is here. We also have officials from Public Health, Winnebago County Human Services, and like I mentioned, local law enforcement and fire department officials as well. This afternoon, Winnebago County was hit with severe weather, with high winds, heavy rains, and tornado damage being reported throughout the county. with the heaviest hit areas being the city of Menasha and the village of Fox Crossing. Local agency drones have been surveilling the damage and are still working to assess the extent of that damage. The storm has affected public infrastructure, homes, businesses, and utilities. Power is out in a lot of areas and is expected to remain so for an undetermined period of time. If you need to seek shelter because your home is damaged, or you lack power, or you smell gas, or any other reason you might not be safe in your home tonight, shelter is available right now at 2 locations. Christ the Rock Church at W6254 US Highway 10/114, and the Elks Lodge at 328 Nicolay Boulevard in Menasha. Again, Christ the Rock Church and the Elks Lodge in Menasha. And Calvary Bible Church is available as a charging station at 1450 Oak Ridge Road in Neenah. There's widespread power outages, and crews are working to clean up our public infrastructure and restore power. This will take a while, and it could be several days before all residents have power restored. The power outage has not just impacted residences, but it's also impacted municipal water plants in Fox Crossing and Menasha. As a result of the impacts on our water utilities, we are asking all residents to reduce their water consumption during this time. Finally, we are asking residents are not being allowed to drive in the city of Menasha, and residents are being asked to stay in place at their homes, again, if it's safe. If you smell gas, we're asking you to contact your utility provider and access one of the locations that we gave, or if you have a family or a friend that you can stay with in an adjacent community, find ways to get there. Emergency crews are working to clear public infrastructure, restore power, and assist residents in need and assess damages. The best thing that people can do is to stay out of the roadways as we try to clear those up so people can get back to their properties and assess that themselves. We recognize some people left this morning in a world of normalcy and may not have been back yet. We're doing our best with people on the ground to assess those things, but it is going to take some time. 911 continues to take emergency phone calls, but we ask you not to call 911 unless you are facing a true emergency. They've been overwhelmed with the number of calls today, which isn't necessarily surprising, but we are asking people to really, look for, if you have a true emergency, at one of the other avenues that we have. If you have a gas leak, contact the utility directly. Call the utility provider. Do not call 911 for a gas leak. Once again, I'm joined by leaders from the city of Menasha, the village of Fox Crossing, as well as county leaders and local law enforcement officials that will do our best to answer any questions from you now. Again, we're in a conference room setting, so it'll be a little bit of musical chairs, perhaps. And we don't have the answers at this time because we haven't been able to get everywhere in the impacted area due to the level and the extent of damage that's there. We will be holding another briefing update at 7:30 to share any new information that we've learned. But obviously, we're still in the early stages of this. And with that, we'll open it up to any questions. Maybe I need to unmute you. Although no questions also means I answered all of them.
I'll go ahead and ask one quick. Do you have any information on injuries, fatalities, efforts to find people, search and rescue?
It is my understanding that at this time, there have not been. We have had, people on the ground, early, first responders, but, we're still, I think, assessing things on the ground, but I think so far, not that we're aware of. Are there any other questions, or do I need to unmute? They need to raise their hand or anything? I feel like it's my first Zoom in COVID.
Go ahead. Do you have any information about the warnings that went out leading up to the storm? Do you feel that emergency officials were prepared for what was coming your way this morning, and getting word out to residents? I know that's not really your purview, but I'm just wondering, in the back and forth that has happened since the storm, what you've been able to learn in terms of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak for me and then allow our emergency manager for Winnebago County, director, speak. I can tell you that leading up to the storm, I knew that I received at least 5 text messages about the imminent threat impacting me down in Oshkosh that included a graphic of the Menasha area. I also heard the sirens going off and knew that those same activations were done, in the Menasha area and also on the mobile devices as well. And I'll ask Eric Rasmussen to any other information he had.
Yeah, thank you for the question. The alerts we received are from the National Weather Service this morning. So multiple alerts, watches, as well as warnings throughout the morning, kind of letting us know what was happening. I thought they did a pretty good job of that. And when that tornado warning was issued, our tornado sirens activated as well. Anybody else?
Can you see if there's other ones? How does that work? I feel like
They have the ability to unmute themselves.
okay.
All right.
If you have a question, I guess you can unmute if you have a question. Otherwise, we'll have an additional update at 7:30.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretty intense, right? Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I lived, you see where the mouse is at? I lived right in that area there. All right, and then, like I said, this is where my grandparents' house was, right where the mouse is about. That's the former Express gas station. There's St. Mary's Church right there, where my grandpa was an usher on my dad's side, and we had his funeral. Well, we had the service, the remembrances or whatever you call it, the wake or whatever you call it. I guess I don't know how I'm not good with all that kind of stuff. I used to roam these train tracks when I was a kid, late at night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. When I lived over there, I would escape out of the house and walk around those tracks.
So these are arrival times. Menasha, 12:08. I really think that's
Oh, you can see
the Wisconsin D. Oh, right across this, Appleton, and now across the north end of the bay, or the lake, rather.
It was a very fast-moving
you could on area at 1:35, and
that's a grand shoot. That was a grand shoot. And there goes the power. Yeah, my sister's concerned about my grandma on my dad's side. She was roughly in this area here.
That's something you would hear out of a movie.
And listen, I know straight line winds can make that kind of noise. I know that's possible.
I don't know how far grandma is from this.
But I mean, doesn't that sound like something tornadic? That was in Grand Chute. So So on the west side of
Like, how
Appleton,
far
I'm not
she is
sure
from this
where
specific-
this is. This looks like an industrial area.
Yep,
Those are
there's
traffic
a-
cones.
Big barrel going down
Big
the road.
barrels that are just being
I mean,
launched
just
by
look
the
at those-
winds here,
those,
and horizontal
construction barrels
rain.
just whipping down the road, you know?
And I don't know who shot that video. Well, thank you for doing that. I hope you didn't risk any injury. To some extent, you had to have. But that is just exactly what people on the west side and south side of Appleton and around Menasha over towards Neenah, that's what they saw passing through their neighborhoods between noon and about 12:15, 12:20 early this afternoon. All right, so our tornado warning, this is for central and eastern Fond du Lac County. This is expiring now. I don't see the National Weather Service extending it. At least I haven't seen it. We still have a tornado warning for western Fond du Lac County. In fact, the Weather Service has let that conclude. So the tornado warning in central and eastern Fond du Lac County has concluded. However, we still have a tornado warning for western Fond du Lac County into northern Dodge County till 1:45. This notch in the precipitation just west of Oakfield is where there might be a tornado. There's definitely some sort of circulation going on there. There's that couplet. We talk about that a lot, don't we? The red is where the wind is blowing away from the Green Bay radar site. The green is where the wind is blowing towards the radar site. And this is a pretty pronounced couplet. It's more pronounced now than it was about 10, 15 minutes ago. This is coming right into Waupun. If you are in Alto, if you're in Waupun, if you're southwest of Oakfield in an unincorporated area, you need to be in your basement now. This is a tornado warning till 1:45. We want you to get down to the lowest level of your home. You are able to watch our streaming coverage live through the WBAY First Alert Weather app. And, okay, we just got a fresh image there.
It's still showing up a decent bright green.
Yeah. The orientation. And there's been some hail in there as well, especially on the south side of town as this thunderstorm tracks across the area. Again, a severe thunderstorm.
So yeah, it's crazy. Just wow. Yeah, the part of this roof, I believe, ended up around a couple of vehicles up on 441, right near Interstate 47. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Jesus, look at this shit. Wow.
All right, good Monday morning.
It's crazy. So much damage. So much damage and destruction. It's just ridiculous.
A Polygon, and Ainsworth you probably find too. But you get into Townsend and Mountain. Now, this is the Polygon that the National Weather Service puts. Audrey Lee is next to me here, and
the price of gas and diesel skyrockets.
Hey everyone, Tony Langfellow here.
Ripped the wheel off. Ripped the wheel off.
A Polygon, and Ainsworth you probably find too. But you get into Townsend and
Is that the water plant? Is this the menasha water plant? I think it might be. Yep. Yeah, that's Menasha Water Plant. I just kind of forgot about it because I haven't lived there in a long time. But yeah. Wow. I bet you the house. I bet you the house that I used to go to get babysat at. I bet that house is probably wrecked. That house would have been right about here, right about where this mouse is at, right about there. House is right about there. That is terrible. Shit. All right, so the house that I grew up in is right across the street from here. It would be right about where the mouse is at. Sorry, everybody. I just wanted to look at the comments. I wanted to reply to comments. Yep, I know that place there. That's that Polymer place there. Those are the offices. Wow. I used to literally live just a block away from here. I lived a block away from here. 5th and Pier Street. Shit. Here we go. Good. Okay. Okay, so this is the former Quick Trip. They called it the Manfield or whatever bakery right here in the center. This was the laundromat that we used to go to do our laundry. Completely devastated now. Right there's Coonan's. Yeah, they took a major hit. God, they took a major hit. Wow. I'm doing a live YouTube video here, but I know your guys' location. I used to live at 703 3rd Street with my grandparents, and I would see you guys there all the time as a kid. I know this entire area like the back of my hand, like the back of this hand, and I feel terrible. Yeah, I live in Rockville, Maryland, but this right here, this is my hometown. This is my childhood neighborhood that I grew up in, and I'm just like, I want to come back so bad, and I want to help. You know, there's a lot of reasons why I can't. Wow, this is just. This is okay. So this is the menasha water treatment plant right here. There's Jefferson School that my sister went to. I know this place right here. There used to be a tennis ball court right here, and the water tower was across the street. There's Tony's bar right there. There's Kunin's right there. Wow. I wonder if they were doing construction or something along 3rd Street there when this happened. There's a lot of equipment out there which can be utilized for a cleanup now. At this point. Yeah, the water. Wow. They took a major hit. That is crazy. This place took a major hit. Fucking A. Yeah, right here. The water tower used to be right here. It was a big ass water tower. I remember when they repainted it, and you could really see them do it and smell it all the way from my grandparents' house. You know? Brandon, that's pretty crazy that I was just going through here and I saw your comment, and of course I replied, but yeah, that's Intertape. I used to live right at 5th and De Pere, and I lived at 703 3rd Street. I lived at 1203 De Pere Street. Yeah, man. I wish I could come out there right now and help so bad. Second in Green Bay. Okay. Yeah, I know where that's at. Actually, let's go back and look at the picture again. Yeah, this is a better perspective. Okay, so 703 3rd Street is right here. You see the house that has the, right there, 703 3rd Street, with the house next to it, which was upstairs and downstairs. I know that upstairs. Oh my God, man. Fuck. We had a neighbor named Brian that used to live there in the upstairs. I remember when one of these houses was actually knocked over from a fucking a wrecking ball and being rebuilt. I think it was right about here where that person is. This was a former express gas station, and they actually had like a like an automotive shop too in there up at one point. Yep, 703 3rd Street. That was my grandparents' house on my mom's side, and I knew the neighbors that used to live in the upstairs part. His name is Brian. That used to be Express gas station back in the early 90s and the late 80s. They used to work on cars there too. That's Tony's bar right there. Yep, 703. That's actually Tony's bar. That's where my grandpa Westfall used to go, and he used to take me along with him and buy me candy bars and sodas. And then there's Coonan's, in the former Quick Trip, and then that laundromat that we used to use. That's actually. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it, everybody? This office is totally destroyed. It looks like it was like an IT or a supply office. See some Dell computers on the shelf there. Damn, that is so crazy. Yeah, you mentioned Intertape Polymer Group. See that? I used to live just a block away from there. Just devastated, man. Fucking just, yeah. Schultz. I want to see if she's related to Stephen and Justin. Stephen was my roommate at the group home in White Lake, Wisconsin, and Justin was a classmate at Horace Mann Middle School. So yeah, I know the Schultz brothers very well. I don't know them like well now, but I know them from back then. and their mom got Evan. I know Evan. Jody Rasmussen. I recognize the last name. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
This is a mess. Guy dropped his windmill. Sorry, hit play. Sorry, hit play. Sorry, hit play. Sorry, hit play.
Sorry, buddy. I'm just trying to find. Oh yeah. I truly hope that whoever was driving the Route 30 bus there on Spencer, I believe it is, and whoever was passengers, I hope they're okay, and I hope they came out, and hopefully they can come into the comments here and they can let us know that they're okay and doing well, and their account of what happened. All right. I had to message somebody in another Facebook post here on Valley Transit. Wow. Ah, crap. Oh, wow. I know where that's at. Right here. I know where that's at.
Look at our flagpole, dude. I don't know, man. Yeah.
You need to get inside. That's what you need to fucking do. You need to stay inside. Especially with that lightning right there. I remember a storm, everybody, where the lightning was extremely intense. Downtown Appleton, right at Valley Transit, Appleton Library, and City Center Mall. I was like, City Center was closed. It was late at night. And I probably should have stayed in the stairwell in the parking garage because of all the metal. I was kind of scared about getting struck by lightning. So I went over to the back doors of the City Center to try to get myself inside the mall, and they were locked. And it was so intense. I just started I just went in shock, and I froze up, and I kind of hunkered myself down to the ground, and just, yeah, it was fucking scary. It was just fucking scary. Oh, fuck. Jackson, oh, shit. I know exactly where that's at. Holy shit. I know the exact location there. Jackson and Murdoch. Wow. That's not far from you, too. I used to live in Kimberly. It was 336 North Pine Street. I wonder if the hospital got hit. Theta Clark. I was born there. I just wonder if they got hit. Oh my god. Wow. That's crazy. Car dealership? I don't know where though, but...
Gun lane.
Is it Green Bay? Yeah, I think it is.
This is nuts.
I wonder, these apartments look familiar. Don't ask me why, but they look familiar. I don't know.
This is an extremely dangerous situation. This tornado is still on the ground.
You're seeing the rain coming in, but I think that the wind is really going to start to pick up here within moments.
If you happen to be one of those folks and you're watching us on Fox Local right now, you need to immediately get to the designated storm center.
Who are you?
Well, you're not supposed to be here.
Why is that?
He's recording you right now, too.
They've said it.
I used to go to Clovis Grove school too, like right there. Wow. Oh, give me the fucking chills. Keep giving me the fucking chills every time I fucking hear it.
This is our hotel.
Holiday Lodge. I don't know where that's at.
This is the Howard Johnson.
Watch out for nails, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to watch for nails because nails is other stuff shit.
Oh my.
I know the white car is me.
Where is this Ashley?
On the other side.
Yeah, I would be shutting off the gas. I mean, I carry tools.
Oh my god.
I can easily do a lot of the most people really wouldn't be able to, you know? That was a nice kill, too. Damn. Cool. Wow. Took off the tire too. Oh.
That's just crazy. Holy Mother of Moses. Look at the flags flying. Look at that. Wow.
I hope they got their trampoline staked down. Really good. I really do hope they got that trampoline staked down. Oh, that tree branch came down.
The thunder just shook the sliding door. Wow. That. Here. Wow.
Holy shit. That's crazy. That's a lot of pressure to be doing that. Wow. Try Parkway in Appleton. Okay. You know what? I gotta see a downtown Appleton one.
Very sirens going off. I've never, ever seen this in Wisconsin in my life. Possibly a siren. Unbelievable.
Okay, go back and watch the video.
Very sirens going off. I've never, ever seen this in Wisconsin in my life.
Yeah, I know where it is. I know where it is. Right across the street from the
Possibly a siren.
I forget where he's at. He's at West Packard and Richmond. West Packard and Richmond.
Very sirens going off.
I had to look at my Google Maps.
I've never, ever seen this in Wisconsin in my life.
Yeah, Richmond, West Packard, right there. Not far from here. Yeah. Not far from here.
Possibly a siren. Unbelievable.
Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, so where the mouse is, my dad doesn't live very far from there. That's all I'm saying. I don't give out anyone's actual information. But yeah, yeah, he's not that far from this location here. Shit.
crazy rotation right there.
Wow. College Avenue and Perkins. I'm doing a YouTube video here, just showing, kind of talking about it, commentary, showing stuff, you know, for the record. Because I don't have enough storage on this computer or the phone to do a lot, so you know, YouTube can do it for me, you know. But yeah, just incredible, man. Wow. There's Jefferson Apartments and Menasha Utilities. Yeah, the tornado took. See, the tornado took that path. I mean, it was big, but that was the main portion of it right there, right through there. That is Jefferson Apartments. I knew so. I used to. Wow, I could tell you a lot about that. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Steve, but yeah, that's where the main part of the tornado went, and then obviously it you know, it's got the side winds and everything, and you see less and less destruction going towards this way right here. But I used to, my grandparents used to live in Jefferson Apartments. My ex-girlfriend lived there, and my mom's friend used to live there. I'm familiar with this whole entire neighborhood. I don't know. Yeah, the way I'm looking at it right now, everybody, is that if these people from my former childhood, neighborhood, and city don't get sleep, I don't get sleep. So that's how I'm looking at it right now. I'm tired, but if they gotta be up tonight and they gotta do whatever, then I can be up too.
Think people heeded the warning, don't you think, Luke?
I think so. I mean, a lot of luck comes into these events too. People have a phone now, and maybe they get that warning just a little bit earlier versus, even 10 or 15 years ago. So, that helps.
Areas a few blocks around this. Now, I do have the soundbite of what the National Weather Service did have.
The circulation stuff.
Yes, Stacey, we are seeing that there's a lot of damage here. Now, when we did speak to the National Weather Service earlier, that was probably close to a couple hours ago now. We've been that they had seen. So they didn't extend a lot beyond where we are right now. And we're just outside of Manderfield's Bakery for a little bit of reference there. This was their first stop. And just from their first sight, they were confident in saying that this is at least an EF2 situation. Now, the thing with grading these tornadoes is that we base it off of what we look at with damages. So they're going to continue to move to some other areas around and see what they're looking at. But right now, just on this street here, we see power lines down. We see telephone poles, even cars completely flipped over. This house that you'll see just over to my left here, this is one that was completely lifted off of its foundation and completely shifted, pushed up right against another house. Now, looking just beyond that, we have sheets up in trees. I see a rug, something that would belong in a kitchen on a first floor, not looking at something that would, typically be outside of the house. So a lot of damages. It's going to continue throughout a lot of these surrounding areas, a few blocks around this. Now, I do have the soundbite of what the National Weather Service did have to say earlier. We were able to speak with them. So I'll let you guys take a listen to that.
And Nathan, we were having a little bit of audio troubles. We're going to cue that up here real quickly. Give me just a second.
What we're seeing is probably...
Wait a minute.
How could no one have been hurt?
Oh! No wonder why her voice sounded familiar. She didn't look familiar for a while. Yeah, she got old as hell. Holy shit. She used to work for NBC 26. He used to work, trying to remember, I think he was with Channel 5 forever now. But yeah, she was NBC 26. She's at least my age. Or, no, probably a few years older than me. But yeah, wow.
The potential's there. It's just not like it was before. So that's what's happening right now. And it gives you a little maybe peace of mind knowing that if you got to do some cleanup here before dark, that you're not going to be having to deal with anything significant like that again. There's a shot of Lambeau, and actually looking pretty nice here at the moment in Titletown. Now I want to take you back. This is a radar review, so we're going back to midday. This is right where this was getting going. And you can see how we had this very well-defined cluster of storms in what we call a Boeing line segment that was coming through east central Wisconsin. And that west end of that was really the issue for where we had the worst storm. So kind of back this up in time. Notice how they come through. We had huge hail and freedom. And you can almost see in the circulation, if you just let this loop through again, you can almost see the rotation come right over that area of Menasha and then move over Lake Winnebago. That area of Lake Winnebago then kind of washed out that circulation. There's a lot of difference in friction in between the lake and the land. There's no buildings. Obviously, we don't get, debris signatures over the water like we were getting. And so this sort of went into a situation where, okay, we knew something bad just ripped through Menasha. The reports started coming in, and then we were really following this all the way down the lake and into Fond du Lac County, which generated several more tornado warnings with that. Let's see what I have here. So this is 1155. This would be the area that I have circled. That is the part of the notch in the radar reflectivity, which was showing the rotation. And so this was moving right down across, essentially it was parallel to like Highway 47 and then across 96. If you're familiar with the valley in those areas, these are very common spots. And then it made its way down and across 41 and then right on into Menasha. So let's go ahead and jump to 1205. That's where it made that crossing there. And this was moments before or right about when Menasha took a direct hit. The east side of Menasha took a direct hit shortly after the noon hour. A lot of common 41 and then right on into Menasha. So let's go ahead and jump to 1205.
Yeah, it started right.
That's where it made that
right
crossing there.
And it went straight down.
And this was moments before or right about when Menasha took a direct hit.
Right?
The east side of Menasha took a direct hit shortly after the noon hour. A lot of common junctions and thoroughfares through there. 441, Highway 10.
5 minutes.
We've got 441 that kind of bends around there. We've got a lot of damage on that stretch of the highway as well. Semis that have left the roadway and signs down, signage wrapping vehicles, just absolutely devastating and powerful winds there at that time. So again, that was 1205. And then it moved right over Doty Island, the east part of Doty Island, clipped Nina, and now the circulation it's hard to tell on this image, but it's actually out over Lake Winnebago and continued to make its way south. And so that's the timeline, that's the recap in terms of what we had for the actual storm itself. So again, backing the view up, that's what we have now for thunderstorm activity. There's still some action out there. It's not like it was at all. And then that's really the message I need to get through to you. In terms of what caused this, well, we had a cold front drop in. We had a wave of low pressure working right along that. And there's a warm front there that's also that I have analyzed. But what you need to know is right near that area of low pressure along that front, we had a whole bunch of shear. That's where all the spin was in the low levels of the atmosphere, right along that wave of low pressure. And that drifted right through the spine of Wisconsin here today, and it's currently positioned over Chicago. And anywhere south of that cold front and then west of the warm front, that's where we're expecting severe weather to flare yet tonight. Same ingredients are there. And so places like Indiana, Northeast Illinois, Indiana, and the Ohio Valley are preparing for storms potentially tonight because of the same system.
Mm-hmm. It is wreaking havoc.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's a good map. No severe weather watch is in effect here in the state of Wisconsin or even Illinois for that matter. So there's some good news there. And then the severe threat, which is waning, is down to our southeast. So again, just trying to give some reassurances to folks that might be concerned what's coming yet. Not too much in terms of severe weather, thankfully.
Stace, what struck me today as you and Luke and I were doing the 5 o'clock news and the 6 o'clock news, watching all this video, I just kept on saying to myself, what am I watching? Mm-hmm. What the heck am I seeing? The video we saw, it looked like an earthquake-ravaged city from overseas that we're used to seeing. But here it was, Menasha. You saw people, as our reporter showed us, people carrying plastic bags down the street, just collecting whatever belongings they could. They had their pet carriers with them. And then as you saw Nathan Himsel in his live report just now, a car flipped over in Menasha. As I said, 48 years just doesn't happen. And boy, it did today. Just shocking.
It sure did. You see Manderfields right there. It's my understanding that they had recently renovated that building. Now it is no more, completely gone. And there will be a lot of rebuilding to come in Menasha. It's going to take a long, long long time, and they will talk about this forever. We're going to go back to Menasha now. We do have Paul Stino live on the ground there as well. Paul, thank you so much for joining us here on WFRV Plus. Just describe what it's been like for you today to cover the devastation there.
Do you know him? Is he, his last name's Stino, so.
And I do believe we're having some issues here with Paul. I apologize, Paul. We are not hearing your audio at this time. Sometimes that happens, technology.
All right. While we're trying to reconnect with Paul, and I'm sure we'll get him in a moment, you were talking, Stacy, about these shelters down in the Menasha area.
Yes.
Right now, it's Christ the Rock Church that is the shelter. There were 3 shelters open earlier today. It was Christ the Rock, the Menasha Senior Center, and the Menasha Public Library. But the Senior Center and the Public Library, they lost power. And so now they're down to just Christ the Rock Church for a shelter for people if they want to go.
Right. And in this heat, I mean, it's important to get people in a cool place. So thankfully, there is a place that is open. Menasha has declared a state of disaster. No doubt moving forward, there's going to be a lot of requests for funding, probably both from the state and from the federal government, I would assume.
You know, my concern right now, as I sit here in the comfort of our studios, I think to myself, what about that family of 5, the 3 kids and the mom and dad who just lost their house? What are they doing tonight? What are they doing for food? What are they doing for shelter? Where are they going to sleep? What are they going to do tomorrow? Just a nightmare that we can't fathom.
It is. And as we know, Tom, you've been covering the Northeast Wisconsin for a very long time. And the beauty of this community is it seems in times like this, we see the best in our neighbors. And the community comes together, they band together, they see that there's a need, and they answer the call for help. And I know we're going to be doing a lot of those stories in the days to come.
Oh, yeah. All you got to do around here is call for help. And people say, when and how.
Yeah, but if Tom feels this way, Tom needs to get his hands dirty. And she needs to get her hands dirty too. They both need to get their hands dirty because I would get my hands dirty in a split second. I want to play. I would love to go to Appleton. I would like to go to Menasha right now, pack up what I can, and just start hightailing it. But unfortunately, I can't risk myself. I would get locked up in Winnebago County Jail or now to Gaming County Jail. I can't risk it. So, but if I didn't have the bench worn out back in Wisconsin, you guys damn well bet I wouldn't even be here talking to you right now. I wouldn't care. I would just rather grab what I can grab from the apartment here, throw it in the van, and start going and worry about gas, food, and whatever later on. You know what I'm saying? Just start going. That's all I care about. And I want to do it so fucking bad right now. I could easily make it there by fucking tonight. Probably by 2 o'clock in the morning. I could probably make it by 10 p.m. tonight. If I hauled ass.
How much? And we'll be there. And so the folks I talked about, they will be taken care of. But you just worry about them.
Yes.
And you worry about what's going through their minds tonight.
You certainly do. We're going to take a quick break. We do have a report from Appleton coming up as well. And if we get Paul back online, we'll check in with him as well. Stay with us. So much for joining us. You've been on the ground there for the majority of the afternoon. And what are you seeing? What are you hearing from those who live there, who are dealing with just a nightmare tonight?
Yeah, Stacey, certainly a nightmare for all the folks who have been impacted by this tornado. Really surreal to see some of these images here in Menasha, Wisconsin. A lot of people that I've spoken to have kind of said that these are the kind of tornadoes, the kind of damage that you see on the national news that happen.
Yeah, he's talking through the phone mic there.
Somewhere else, not here in Menasha, Wisconsin. Well, this afternoon, unfortunately, it happened here in Menasha, Wisconsin. I've been a reporter for 7 years, covered obviously dozens of these storms over the years, and this is by far the worst that I've seen in terms of just the sheer amount of damage that these folks here in Menasha are dealing with from the tornado. And Tom, I think, mentioned it in the studio in your show, but what's been really kind of striking to me, really powerful to me, is the folks that have been walking down the street here, carrying behind them their luggage, suitcases, wagons, crates with their animals, anything that they've been able to take out of their homes. Really the beginning of the start of a very long rebuilding process for these folks. Step one in picking up the pieces of their lives. People here have virtually lost everything. I do want to note that Christ the Rock Shelter in Menasha has been set up as an emergency shelter for anybody that needs a place to stay. I also do want to note that law enforcement authorities, they want people to stay out of this area if possible. Obviously, there's a ton of devastation here. There's power lines that are down. There's We Energy's folks, law enforcement people trying to do their jobs. It's not safe for people to be out here, so please avoid the area if you can.
So, yeah.
All right. And Paul, have you spoken with anybody in particular that your conversation with them really sticks out to you?
Yes, Stacey, certainly. I spoke to Manderfield's Bakery, and I think we can pan a little bit over here so you can kind of see what Manderfield's looks right now. Obviously, devastation there as well. It's up and erect on this side, but on the other side, it's pretty torn up there. I talked to the owner, and obviously he was, sad, devastated by what happened, but he really put into perspective. He lost his business. None of his employees were hurt. He lost his business. He said that the folks on this street here on Manitowoc Street, they lost their whole home. So he's really putting it into perspective that it could have been so much worse for him. And he's just thankful, again, that it wasn't worse. And like you have been saying all show, people in Menasha are going to step up for each other and help out all the folks who were impacted by this horrible tornado this afternoon.
They certainly will. Okay, thank you very much, Paul Stino. I know you're going to be there throughout the evening. You'll have a full report for us tonight on Local 5 News at 10 o'clock. So I want to show some pictures now that we've gotten into the Local 5 newsroom, and really these are incredible photos. These are some trees that are down in Appleton. Luke, you had mentioned the hail. Take a look at this. Tell us about this hail.
Well, obviously, that's huge. We don't get hail that large here too often. So I believe this was up in the Gresham area here. And this is how these storms began. And the updrafts went up, very violent and very powerful updrafts. Obviously, tall enough, probably on the order of 40 or 50,000 feet up into the air. That's how you can accumulate hail to essentially be that big, because it's got such a long journey down. As it does, it crashes into more ice particles and essentially just kind of glues together more hailstones. So you got to think of that chunk of ice that you're seeing is made up of many, many smaller hailstones, and that's what that is. And so when you have a violent updraft like we had, and then you have the shear that storm moved into, you essentially have the situation where you can get the rotating updrafts and then the tornadoes. And this was rain wrapped and hail wrapped, by the way. If you have any pictures of a very well-defined backlit tornado, you just got took for AI, because you would not see this tornado until it's on top of you.
Here's Menasha 441. Take a look at this semi.
Yeah, to me, that looks like that's the stretch of road. I mean, a lot of us who've lived in the area a long time, that's probably just to the west of Oneida Street, heading toward maybe like Racine Street, somewhere in there.
Yep.
But to lift, I don't know if that truck was loaded, but if he's loaded, that's 80,000 pounds. If it's not, he's for sure 40,000.
Here's a before and after.
447
I believe
and,
this was
41.
from Menasha.
Right there,
This
at
is,
that shop.
Nina Park
Where
and
the
Rec. This,
shop
thank
was.
you, Tom. Nina Park and Rec. This was the view from their camera. This is the before. Take a look at the trees in the upper right-hand part of the screen.
Yep.
Now look at when we transition to the after.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
So amazing.
To me, is that Doty Island that sticks out? Or is that the far east end of Doty Island? I think so.
I don't know, but I do know that is Nina.
Yeah.
Yes. Just again, let's take a look before and after the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is sheer destruction. When you're again, I know the Weather Service is it doesn't really matter the rating, frankly, but I mean, I know just from looking at that, that's got to be EF3. I mean, trees are just completely stripped of bark. Sheer devastation. That had to be just incredibly, I don't know.
Frightening.
Frightening.
To be in that.
I mean, it had to be hell on earth for a moment there for those folks because you wouldn't know. Like I said, this was rain wrapped, so you really don't know. It would just look like a wall of cloud and rain and debris whipping through the air, probably on the order of 120 miles an hour plus.
This is Menasha here. This is also Menasha. Again, you can just see the force. We do have a couple of pictures from Appleton as well, and we're going to get a live report here from Ellie Davis in just a moment. But this is Miller Electric and their building that suffered extensive damage. And we have one more picture to show you. This is from Fond du Lac near Lakeside Park.
So that was after the storms went through up on the north end of the lake, and that's a tornado warned cell there as it's coming on shore. We were covering those tornado warnings. There's a very well-defined circulation in that. On this end of it, you're looking at what's called a roll cloud or a shelf cloud. Very indicative of strong down-bursting winds on the backside of that, very cool air getting wrapped in from the mid-levels of the atmosphere. That greenish glow tells you there's probably a lot of large precipitation particles in there, likely hail. Reason why that happens is we get a lot of diffraction of the sunlight into the green spectrum at that particular angle when the sun impacts the hail and the large raindrops. So whenever you got that greenish hue, you're dealing with hail, and that's a sign of a violent thunderstorm coming. At that point, we didn't know if we were going to be getting another scenario like what Menasha had just dealt with, and at this point in time, we were trying to get the word out to Fond du Lac.
Right. Okay. Local 5's Ellie Davis. She is live in Appleton. We showed a little bit of the damage there. Ellie, what's it been like there to travel through Appleton? Describe what you've seen today. It isn't as extensive of damage, obviously, as Menasha, but they too have a lot to clean up, don't they?
Absolutely. Yes, Stacy. I was actually here earlier in the day around the 10:45 to 11:45 range this morning. And that is when I noticed all of those clouds coming in. There was thunder, there was lightning. I had an interview and I actually noticed, I looked outside and it became completely pitch black. Now me and the people I was talking with, we were able to get into the basement for the remainder of the tornado warning. But when I stepped outside after, it was something I had never seen before. There were trees down everywhere. There were people finally coming outside. I went south because that's where I was told a lot of the damage were. And the second I got out there was a tree down on every single corner. There were power lines down, trees mangled in the power lines, and people came out of their houses just moments after this happened to kind of share their reactions. I actually believe we have a soundbite from somebody who told me pretty much his reactions to what he was seeing.
Yes, let's listen in.
Just kind of shocked. It took the top of that electrical pole down. All the wires are down. Just kind of just pretty much shocked.
And I'm sure that is just one person who has that description of what they heard and what they saw. Who else did you talk with? What did they tell you, Ellie?
I was talking with people all day who were coming outside of their homes and they just kept saying, We just couldn't believe it. We didn't see this coming. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. And then I went just down the road, about 5 minutes down the road, and here I am. I'm in front of Miller Electric right now. We're in Appleton. I mean, the extent of damage around the city is very extensive. However, here, the Miller Electric building, I'm going to get out of the way so you guys could kind of see exactly what happened. This is their distribution center. This is their receiving area, and it is the entire side of it has been caved in. There is a hole through the middle of the building. You can see that just shows how strong the winds were here in Appleton. And earlier today, there was not a fence. There was a fence up now. There has been people coming in and out just in shock and disbelief of what they were seeing. I think there's just a lot of people here who are thankful that things weren't worse. As I know, in Menasha, it is incredibly devastating. But there, on every road, there is a tree down. There are power lines down. And Mayor Jake Woodford, who I spoke with today, said that the most important thing that people should be doing here in Appleton right now is they see a power line down to be calling the number 211, and they will send somebody out there eventually. I mean, the calls they've had have been extensive. Their 911 calls have been going through the roof today, but he said call 211 and stay away from those power lines. I mean, all day we have been hearing sirens, people who are needing assistance. He's also asking people to stay off of the road if they can, to allow these emergency vehicles to come in, clean up the damage, but also get the people who called the help that they need.
And Ellie, we actually have a little clip here from Mayor Woodford. We're going to play that right now.
This is one of the challenges in the immediate aftermath of a storm like this is that initial damage assessment takes some time. Understanding what the true impact is will take some time to unfold. Also to understand what unfolded here will take some time and analysis from the National Weather Service. Right now, though, this is certainly a significant incident for the city of Appleton and for our neighboring communities that were also hard hit.
And so Jake Woodford there, and I'm sure we'll get many more updates from authorities from all over the area as this situation moves forward. Okay, thank you very much. Ellie Davis reporting live for us. I know you'll have much more coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. We do appreciate it. We heard from Jake Woodford. Let's listen in real quickly. Winnebago County authorities also holding their press conference earlier today. It was the first time we were hearing from them, and again, probably the first of many more news conferences to come.
Right now, we have first responders from the city of Menasha, the village of Fox Crossing, and many of our neighboring agencies working on trying to get into the damage zone to look for injuries, look for victims, clear roadways so that emergency personnel can get through.
And again, this is a very fluid situation. We do have reporters, as you saw, across the area gathering video, talking with neighbors, and trying to get the latest information from authorities. It's very early in this process, and there'll be much more to come in the days ahead, won't there, guys?
Yeah, and you know, Stace, authorities have been telling us all day long, tell people stay out of the area. And we understand in the media, yes, we are in the area. We are going in there with our cameras, but there's a reason for it. Number one, we want to provide information to the public. We're not being nosy. We want to show the enormity of what happened to those poor people so that they can get the help that they need. And I think that's the best way I can describe why we are there. We're there to give information, but we hope to spur a little bit of help as well.
Very well said. Luke.
Well, and that help is going to come. I know there's a lot of amazing companies based out of the valley, excavating, construction, landscape companies, generators will be borrowed and lent out. I know that. You know, it's going to take a long time. The shock of it is now, and then the cleanup is overwhelming. And that's when maybe our cameras do leave. We're not there every day. We're not giving updates and telling people what they need and where the needs are. That's where it can become really, really overwhelming. It's not now in terms of the awareness of the situation. It's going to be in days 14 through 21. How are we doing down in Menasha? I know we'll do follow-up stories, but the real need's going to be between now and the next 3 or 4 weeks. This takes an enormous amount of cleanup, just the resources to get heavy equipment in there to clean everything up, and then you got to do the rebuilding process, which is going to be also overwhelming, and insurances are involved. And so this is you have to take a day at a time. And right now you're taking tonight and just getting through tonight, getting to a safe spot, and then deal with tomorrow's problems tomorrow. And before you know it, the community will come together, and before you know it, we will be through it. But it's going to take some time, and it is going to be some hard hours and hard weeks in here for a lot of our neighbors down in the valley. And there's people probably on, let's say, the west side of Menasha that didn't have the significant damage, but they'll have friends or family on the east side that will have that, and they're going to have to deal with that and help them, and everybody's going to have to band together and help them.
They sure are. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with all of those who have been affected by this. We will continue to bring you updates both on air, online, and here on WFRV Plus as we move forward. We do appreciate you joining us. If you have any photos or videos you would like to share with us, or just any thoughts or comments, you can reach out to us on our website, wearegreenbay.com. We have a Report It tab there. You can also reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. We will continue our team coverage tonight on WF.
Yeah, my grandparents' house was 703 3rd Street. It was that greenhouse right across the street from the gas station, right next to the house, right at 3rd and the pier. I grew up in that neighborhood. I know that neighborhood like the back of my hand, like way better than most people do. I know that entire neighborhood. I'm hurt. Yeah, I'd rather make it longer than 10-second video that Facebook allows. So yeah, 703 3rd Street. That's where me and my sister pretty much grew up at. That's where I grew up at for the most part. I had my 3rd birthday at that house, right? My grandpa was always at Tony's bar. My grandpa knew, I think, the original guy that worked at, or the original owner of Tony's bar. I think he knew the father of the son that owns it now. I'm pretty sure. Where the Manda Fields is, it used to be a Quick Trip gas station. It literally was a gas station. I remember that. Where the Menasha Water is, there was a tennis ball field, and there was a water tower that was right across the street from the pizza place there, on the same side as Tony's. I remember when they painted that water tower. I remember hearing the noises from it, the smell from it. The house next to 703, a guy named Brian lived in the upstairs. It's two separate spots. Brian lived upstairs. I remember across the street on the same side as the gas station, a house got demolished by a wrecking ball back in the early 90s or late 80s. So yeah, that neighborhood I grew up in. I remember when 3rd Street Diner was Donut World. If you guys don't know what Donut World was, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just being real. Donut World. My mom worked there way back when, back before I was born. I mean, I'm 42 years old now. So yeah, I lived at 5th and the Pier Street, literally right by the Intertate Polymer Group place, literally a block away. Right across the street from St. John's Church's main entrance. I used to watch people come and go all the time, to church. My bedroom faced that church. So yeah, and I lived at 1203 to Pier Street. I saw a drone video of Calder Stadium and the neighborhoods around it. I lived at 1203. The house, kitty corner, at 12 in the Pier. It's a duplex blue. There was a garage at the pool behind it. Kim and Silas Ruse and their mom and dad lived there back in the early 90s. Okay? They lived in that exact part of the house. Really? Hey everybody. So yeah, My grandparents owned 703 3rd Street back in the 80s and into the early 90s. Then they moved over to Jefferson Park Apartments. Then they moved over to Elizabeth Court. This is all before 1994. It happened pretty quick. I mean, it seemed like a long time to me, but it was. If you think about it now, it was a pretty rapid transition for them to go from 703 3rd Street, Jefferson Park, over to Elizabeth Court. But my grandpa was a loyal Tony's patron. He would take me over there all the time for candy, soda, things like that, right? Of course, I couldn't drink alcohol, right? And I dare win it nowadays. I don't condone that. But yeah. I remember the gas station, which was Motor Mart now, it used to be Express. I remember when they had an auto body, or no, it was an automotive repair shop. It was a 2-bay garage. I remember that very well. I used to see him out I used to sit on my grandparents' porch or look out the window, and I would just watch the activity going on at the gas station. My grandpa smoked cigarettes. We would jaywalk it, right? Like right from the front door of 703, straight through the front door of Express. We were literally right in line with each other's entrances. And then, of course, he would buy me some snacks or whatever, and he'd get his pack of cigarettes, his Camels. He was a loyal Camel smoker. And I don't condone that either now, but, it is what it is. I got a picture of me and my sister, and I got a shovel in my hand in front of the garage. I was digging in the dirt, playing in the dirt as a kid. I had on a bomber jacket. I lived at 5th and the Pierce Street, right across the street from St. John's Church. I used to be able to see people come and go from the church all the time. My bedroom window faced that main entrance. And my grandparents had lived at Jefferson Park Apartments. They lived at Elizabeth Court. The house next to 703, going down towards Tony's, a guy named Brian lived in the upstairs. I saw a drone video. That roof is gone. That place is done. I remember when Mandafield's was Quick Trip gas station. It was a gas station. I remember when the water tower was on the same side as Tony's bar. Huge water tower too. At that, the little red light that was on top was plugged in by a 3-prong dryer plug. Don't ask me how I know. Across the street from there was like a water storage place for a tennis ball. I don't know what was underneath it, but it was a raised deck area. My sister went to Jefferson school. I used to always go to Jefferson Park on my big wheels bike thing, ride around the park by myself. My friend's mom, my mom's friend Beth and her husband Dave lived at Jefferson Park Apartments, and they moved over to, they lived at Jefferson Park and they moved over to Cottonwood or whatever it was called over there. And we lived over there too at one point, a long time ago. I remember a nasty storm and lightning literally blew through the fucking, almost blew through our balcony window, or I don't know, it just seemed like it. They probably didn't. But I was like 1 or 2 years old then. Yeah, that entire neighborhood devastated, and it hurts. When I saw the video for the very first time of Bandafield's and the laundromat, I didn't recognize the laundromat being. I thought it was like gone because they tore it down. No, it's gone because of the tornado. Half the building's gone. Yeah, and Coonan's. Yeah, they've been there a long time. They've been there before my time. They've been there before I was born. And in the Elks Lodge or whatever was over there, they used to be called the Woodshed. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the entire neighborhood, with the whole block, with all the blocks around there. Very familiar with it. I used to roam the backyards. I know everybody's backyard. Between Manitowoc and the Pier, 3rd and 2nd. I know the entire block, like, at the back of my hand. I could tell you everything about every single house on that block. People didn't know I was walking around their backyards and all that. They probably didn't really think nothing of it. Of course, now there's be fencing. Obviously people put fences up nowadays. But back then, you could cut through backyards like it was nothing. I remember a kid named like Eric. He had a tree house right behind our house at 703. I used to go up in his tree house all the time and mess around. I don't know. I was just a dumb kid. I was a dumb, retarded kid. I used to go to Geegan Elementary. I used to go to Clovis Grove Elementary. I used to go to Butamore. I started out at Bonta in kindergarten. Then I went to Butamore. Then I went to Clovis Grove. Then I went to Geegan. So yeah. Yeah, seeing this devastation fucking hits me real fucking hard. I saw a video of Calder Stadium. I lived at 1203 to Pierce Street from about 1989 to 1992 or so, probably 93-ish. And then we moved over to 5th and De Pere for about a little less than a year, maybe about a year, and then we moved over to Doty Island. So yeah.
RV, and specifically rather on local.
Of the damage of a storm. Here on Plank Road, you can see the severity of the damage of a tornado hitting after severe storms from earlier today. You can see here that this power line is down, and this very big, long power line is covering the road, power line into the trees, and you can see that brick from this house is coming off, and this is just the standard over here. You can see that shingles are off. There is debris everywhere. These trees are down and covering the road. You can just see here shingles off the roof. You can see the roof is just torn apart, and it is just kind of what has just happened here after the storms. You can see down there all of the weather that has just taken place here has really affected all of the houses here on this neighborhood. And you can see over here that a car is flipped over. This is not the only one. There is another one over there. If you can see it kind of right behind this building over there, there is another truck flipped over. So just the strong winds and sheer force really played a factor in the storm. You can see more power lines are down and everywhere across Menasha. You can see over at this building here, there's insulation out. The roof is torn apart. Over here at Plank Road Pub, you can see that the building is just absolutely just torn apart from just those strong, severe winds. And then you continue going down Plank Road, you can see that there are crews on scene, people trying to navigate what their new life is, and that is that they're going to have to clean up from these storms. I will have more coverage from the cleanup and the storms that happened here this afternoon on WFRV and on our website, wearegreenbay.com. Here on Plank Road, you can see the severity of the damage of a tornado hitting after severe storms from earlier today. You can see here that this power line is down, and this very big, long power line is covering the road, power line into the trees, and you can see that brick from this house is coming off, and this is just the standard over here. You can see that shingles are off. There is debris everywhere. These trees are down and covering the road. You can just see here shingles off the roof. You can see the roof is just torn apart.
All right, everybody, I'm going to get out this thing so I can get other stuff done. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for understanding. And please, if you guys can financially help, please send it towards Menasha, Wisconsin. I wish I could. I have no money right now, but that doesn't matter right now. Just send your donations towards send it towards Menasha, Wisconsin. So I'm asking, and also when Nina, just send it that way, okay? Please. And if you guys live around that area, just get out there and fucking help, all right? Because you know damn well if I could drive out there right now, I would do it in a split second. I wouldn't hesitate. So, see you guys later.